Let me ask you something before we start. Have you ever picked up a piece of fruit, held it for a second, and quietly wondered whether it was helping your kidneys or hurting them? And then put it back down, not really sure either way. If you have, you are going to want to hear this. Because somewhere online, someone has promised you a fruit that flushes toxins out of your kidneys overnight. One fruit that cleans them while you sleep. One bowl that fixes every kidney problem you have. I want to be honest with you right from the first minute. No fruit does that, not one. Not even the golden one you have seen filling up those dramatic thumbnails. We will get to that one, I promise. But here is the part those videos never tell you. Just because no fruit is magic does not mean every fruit is the same. After 60, the form of the fruit, the amount you actually eat, and what your own body needs can make one choice fit your life beautifully and another one work against you. So today we are going to walk through 5 fruits together. 5 ordinary fruits, most of them probably in your kitchen right now. And 3 quiet mistakes that turn a good choice into a poor one without you ever noticing. Stay with me. This is simpler than anyone has made it sound. Now, if you have ever stood in the produce aisle feeling a little lost, I want you to know something. You are not doing anything wrong. The advice out there really is a mess. One video says, eat this. The next says, never touch it. No wonder it feels confusing. So, let us stand on something solid for a moment. Your kidneys are working right now quietly the way they have your whole life. Day and night, they filter waste and extra fluid out of your blood. They do not sit around waiting for a special fruit to turn them on, and nothing you eat tonight is going to scrub them clean by morning. But over months and years, the way you eat is one of the things that can make their work a little easier or a little harder. That part is real, which is why that phrase, kidney-friendly, needs a little honesty attached to it. In this video, kidney-friendly does not mean eat all you want. It does not mean it is right for everyone. It simply means a fruit that may be easier to fit into a kidney-conscious way of eating, depending on how you have it, how much you have, and what your own health needs. And that last piece matters more than you might think. 2 people the same age can both have kidney concerns and still need completely different things. One may have been told to watch their potassium, the other may never have been told that at all. One might also be living with diabetes. So please hear me clearly. This is general information, not personal medical advice. Your own care team and your own lab results come first. Always. All right, here is what we are going to do together. 5 fruits, apples, berries, grapes, pineapple, and pears. Each one teaches you something a little different. And as we go, 3 common mistakes are going to show up, the kind that quietly ruin good intentions. To keep the whole thing simple, I want to give you 4 small words. Form, fill, formula, fit. Form is just what you are actually having. The whole fruit juice dried frozen out of a can. Fill is how much really ends up in your bowl or your glass, not what the label calls a serving, what you actually eat. Formula is what comes along with the fruit, the syrup, the added sugar, whatever else is in there. And fit is the honest one. Does this choice match what your body and your care plan actually need? Do not worry about memorizing all 4 for every fruit. You will not have to. Each fruit ahead is going to make one of these feel like second nature. So let us start where most of us started. The apple. Walk down any grocery aisle in America and you will be surprised how many times you see that one word. Apple. A fresh apple in the produce bins. A jar of applesauce. A bottle of apple juice. A bag of dried apple rings. Even snacks that proudly announce they were made with real fruit. Same word, very different choices. Take the whole apple first, because it is the simplest story there is. You can hold it in your hand, you can see exactly how much you are eating, and you get the fiber that comes right along with the fruit, especially if the skin is easy for you to chew. It takes a while to eat, and honestly, that slowness is part of the gift. It is hard to lose track of an apple you are still biting into. For a lot of folks over 60, a whole apple is about as practical as fruit gets. It is cheap, you can find it any time of year, and it needs no peeling, no cooking, no fuss. Now hold that next to a glass of apple juice. The word on the bottle is still apple, but most of the fiber is gone, and drinking is a whole lot faster than chewing. A tall glass can disappear in under a minute, and it is awfully easy to pour a second one without thinking. There is our first mistake, and it is going to keep showing up today. Drinking your fruit and treating it like eating your fruit. Now, juice is not evil, but it is a different choice, and it deserves to be looked at as one. Applesauce lands somewhere in the middle. And here I want to say something plainly. If your teeth are sensitive or you wear dentures, unsweetened applesauce can be a genuinely good option. There is nothing to feel bad about there. The word that matters is unsweetened. Some jars have sugar poured right in, and the front of the label will not always tell you. One quick look at the ingredient list and you will know which one you are holding. And those dried apple rings? The water is gone, so the fruit shrinks down small, but everything else is still in there. A little handful is more apple than it looks. So here is what the apple leaves you with. Do not just ask what fruit it is, ask what form it is in. And if the form can change things this much, wait until you see what happens in the freezer aisle. Because that old idea fresh is always better is about to get a fair, honest second look. Let us talk about berries. Blueberries, strawberries, raspberries, blackberries. And let us start with a belief that quietly costs people both money and food. The idea that fresh always beats frozen. Fresh berries are lovely, I will not argue that. But they spoil fast. And if you live alone, or you do not make it to the store all that often, you already know how this ends. You buy a beautiful little container of strawberries, you eat a few, and a week later, half of them have gone soft in the back of the fridge. The healthiest looking thing in the store is not doing you much good if it ends up in the trash. This is where frozen berries deserve another look. Berries frozen without added sugar can be just as good. Sometimes better, honestly. They keep for months. You can shake out a small handful whenever you want one. They cost less when your favorite is out of season, and they drop right into a bowl of oatmeal in the morning. For a lot of people over 60, that little bit of convenience is the difference between actually eating fruit and just meaning to. But here is where you have to slow down and read, because two things get mixed up. Frozen is a form, sweetened is a formula. Those are not the same question. A bag of plain frozen berries is one thing. A bag packed in syrup or a berry blend with sugar stirred in is something else entirely. And the picture on the front, nearly identical. The truth is hiding in the ingredient list every time. And there is one more trap I want to name for you. So many products borrow the good name of berries without giving you much actual fruit. Berry-flavored yogurt, blueberry muffins, a berry drink, a strawberry cereal bar. These can be perfectly pleasant to eat. But a picture of berries on the box is not the same as a bowl of berries in front of you. So berries build right on top of the apple. Yes, check the form, but also glance at what has been added. Fresh or frozen matters far less than whether it is truly just fruit. Our next fruit looks about as innocent as they come, but it hides a problem that has nothing to do with sugar or syrup and everything to do with how easy it is to lose count. Grapes seem like the easy one, don't they? No peeling, no cutting, no mess. You rinse them, you set them out, you eat. And that very simplicity is exactly why they are worth talking about. Because grapes reveal a problem that has nothing to do with the grape itself. Think about how you usually eat them. Not carefully counted into a little bowl, no. The bag comes out of the fridge and sits open right beside you while you read or watch your show or talk with someone you love. One grape, then another. And there is no natural place to stop, no core to set down, no peel to remind you. And before you know it, you have had far more than you ever would have guessed. There is a name for this: portion creep. The amount just quietly grows. And because grapes are small and sweet and easy, nothing ever tells you to stop. Now, I am not standing here telling you a grape is dangerous. And I am certainly not going to hand you some official number of grapes to eat. I do not know your situation, and a video should never pretend that it does. What I can give you is one simple habit that puts you back in charge. Instead of eating from the bag, put the amount you plan to have into a small bowl. Then put the bag away. That is the whole trick. You just turned an invisible amount into one you can actually see. The label describes its serving. Your bowl describes yours. And this matters even more when grapes change form. Raisins are just grapes with the water taken out, which means they shrink, and a tiny box holds far more fruit than that same space of fresh grapes ever would. Grape juice slides down quick, without any of the chewing that helps you notice how much you have had. If you are also managing diabetes, this is worth a gentle word. Not because grapes are off limits, but because they carry carbohydrate, and that carbohydrate fits best when it is counted as part of the whole meal, not just added on top without a second thought. So grapes leave you with the second habit of a careful chooser. Do not just look at what you are eating. Notice how much. And that question, how much is really here, gets even sharper with our next fruit. Because this is the one those dramatic thumbnails love the most. Here it is. The fruit you have been waiting for. A big bowl of golden pineapple giant letters, and a bold promise that it kills every kidney problem or flushes your kidneys clean while you sleep. So let me be clear and kind at the same time. Pineapple does not do that. It does not cleanse your kidneys. It does not repair them. It does not lower a lab number overnight. No single fruit does. And when a thumbnail promises you that it is selling you a feeling, not a fact, but do not click away disappointed. Because pineapple still holds one of the most useful lessons in this whole video. And it is not about the fruit at all. It is about the can. Walk over to the canned fruit aisle and just look at pineapple for a minute. Packed in water. Packed in its own juice. Packed in light syrup. Packed in heavy syrup. And then dried pineapple, and pineapple juice, and those little fruit cups. The word on every single label is the same: pineapple. But what is surrounding that pineapple could not be more different. So here is the moment. Turn the can around. On the back, 3 little lines do most of the work for you. First, the serving size, because everything else on that label is measured against it, and a small can might hold more than 1 serving. Second, total carbohydrate, which tells you more than sugar alone ever could. And third, added sugars, a line that exists for exactly this reason, so you can tell the fruit's own natural sugar from the sugar somebody poured in. Then read that short ingredient list. If the first thing after pineapple is water or its own juice, that is one kind of product. If it is syrup, that is another. Neither one is forbidden. But now you are choosing on purpose instead of choosing by the picture on the front. And there is one phrase here worth slowing right down for. No sugar added. It sounds like a finish line, doesn't it? But it does not mean no carbohydrate, and it does not mean no natural sugar. All it means is that nobody poured extra sugar on top. Helpful to know, but it is not the whole story. Now, for someone over 60, canned pineapple can be a genuinely good choice. You do not have to wrestle with a whole fresh one. It keeps in the pantry, and that soft texture is easy on your mouth. I was never trying to push you toward fresh. I am just trying to help you tell 2 cans apart. So pineapple gives you the third habit. The fruit is only half the label. Read what it is packed in. Our last fruit steps away from the can completely, and it asks a question no label can ever answer. Can you actually live with this choice? Our last fruit is the pear, and it brings us all the way back to something no nutrition label can measure: whether a choice actually works in your real life. Here is what makes the pear special for this conversation. It changes as it ripens. A firm pear is crisp, and it can be real work for tender teeth. But leave it on the counter a few days, and it softens into something gentle and easy to chew. For anyone dealing with sensitive teeth or dentures or a dry mouth, that matters far more than any chart of nutrients ever will. A fruit you can comfortably eat is worth more than a perfect fruit you quietly avoid. And that is the heart of the fourth habit: fit. Because a choice can look flawless on paper and still be the wrong one for you. If it is too hard to chew, you will skip it. If it spoils before you get to it, you will waste it. If it costs more than your budget allows, you will not buy it again. And if you simply do not enjoy it, it will not last. None of that shows up in the nutrition facts. And all of it decides whether that fruit ever makes it onto your plate. Pears come in cans too, of course. And if you go that way, you already know what to do. Turn it around, check what it is packed in, exactly the way we did with the pineapple. Water or juice is one product, heavy syrup is another. You have that skill now. It is yours. One last honest note. A big pear and a small pear are not the same amount. So one pear is a looser measure than it sounds. If you are keeping an eye on how much fruit you have in a day, the size in your hand counts, not just the number. So the pear leaves you with the quiet truth behind all 5 of these fruits. The best choice is not the most powerful one on some list. It is the one that fits your mouth, your kitchen, your budget, and your body. And that word fits leads us straight into the 3 mistakes that can turn any of these good choices into a poor one. By now you have met all 5, and each one handed you something. The apple taught you form. The berries added what is in the package. The grapes showed you amount. The pineapple showed you what the fruit is packed in. And the pear reminded you that a choice has to fit your actual life. Put those together and you can see the 3 mistakes clearly. The first mistake is judging a fruit by its name alone. Apple, grape, pineapple. The name feels like the whole decision, but it is only the start of it. A whole apple and a glass of apple juice are not the same choice, even though the label says the exact same word. So the first question is simple. Am I eating this fruit, drinking it, or buying something that just borrows its name? The second mistake is ignoring how concentrated a food is and how much you truly have. Dried fruit shrinks, but it does not disappear. An open bag vanishes faster than you notice. Syrup hides in a can that looks so healthy on the front. None of these foods is the villain here. It is the gap between the serving on the label and the amount in your bowl that trips people up. So the second question is, how much is really here and what came with it? And the third mistake is the one I want to spend the most care on, because it is the most common and it is the most personal. It is borrowing someone else's potassium rules as if they were your own. Let me give you the honest picture. Potassium is a mineral your body needs. For some people with kidney concerns, the kidneys have a harder time keeping potassium in balance, and a care team may ask them to watch it closely. For other people, that same restriction does not apply at all. 2 neighbors, both living with kidney disease, can be given completely different instructions. Because their lab results are different, their medications are different, their treatment is different. This is why those never eat this fruit lists can do real harm. Someone hears that bananas or oranges are high in potassium, they get scared, and they quietly drop them even though no one ever told them to. And they end up with a smaller, sadder, less enjoyable plate built entirely on someone else's rules. If your care team has not asked you to limit potassium, a fruit is not dangerous simply because it landed on some high potassium list online. So, the third question is the most important one you can carry into your own kitchen. Has my care team actually asked me to watch potassium? And if they have, what exactly did they tell me to keep an eye on? That answer belongs to you and your team, not to a video and not to a neighbor. Form, fill, formula, fit. 3 mistakes and 1 honest question behind each of them. That is the whole system. So, let us come back to where we started. Can any fruit flush the toxins out of your kidneys overnight? No, none of these 5 will do it. Not the pineapple from those thumbnails. Not the berries. Not any of them. No fruit lowers a lab number, by morning repairs your kidneys, or replaces the plan your care team built with you. Anyone who tells you otherwise is selling you a feeling. But here is what these 5 fruits truly can do. And it is worth so much more than an empty promise. They can help you build a way of eating you can actually live with. When you pay attention to the form, to the amount, to what comes packed alongside it, and to what your own body needs. That is not magic. It is something better. It is control. You get to keep one ordinary trip to the grocery store at a time. Think back over the 5 for a second, because each one left you with a tool. The apple showed you that a fruit's name is only the start. The form decides the rest. The berries showed you that fresh or frozen matters less than whether it is truly just fruit. The grapes showed you that even a healthy food is easy to overeat when you cannot see the amount. The pineapple showed you that the fruit is only half the label, so read what it is packed in. And the pear showed you that the best choice is the one that fits your mouth, your kitchen, and your budget, not the one that looks strongest on a list. 5 fruits, 4 words, form, fill, formula, fit. And 3 honest questions you can ask about anything you drop into your cart. Now, I would love to hear from you. Just one short comment. Which of these 5 fruits is in your kitchen right now? And what is the first thing you will check next time? The form, the amount, or the label? Just one fruit and one thing. For example, pineapple, the label, or grapes, the amount. I read them. And your answer just might help someone else standing in that very same aisle feeling unsure. And if this way of thinking helped you today, let me point you to where to go next. We talked about fruit all on its own today. But most of us do not eat fruit by itself, do we? We put it on our breakfast, beside a meal, into a snack. So the next video walks through building a kidney-conscious breakfast where that fruit finally meets everything else on the plate. That is where these 4 little words really start working together. I will see you there.